Hi. Is this on? Yep. Thank you. Thanks so much for introducing, and thanks so much for having me. My name is Andreas, and I'll start with something brand new. Because I've actually been quite ill for more than a month. I had a fever, a cold, flu, headache, and it just kept returning when I thought I was well again. And then I got an eye infection, and I also almost thought I wouldn't come here this year. And this image is from this morning, 3 a.m., where I actually felt really bad. I'm feeling a bit better now, but I thought it would be maybe fun to do something with this illness. Illness is not always fun, but if it's your own illness, I think you can make fun of it. So because I've been ill for almost a month, and normally if you have a flu, then you get well after a week or something, but it really annoyed me, and I tried sort of reading about it, like headache, flu, what could this be? I got blood samples, visited doctors, but nothing was really wrong, and I didn't really figure out what it was, or maybe still is. And when you read all of these scientific papers around this stuff, then your headache increases. So sometimes I wish that people could explain to me the science behind all of this, like I'm 5 years old. So I took an older project and I sort of remixed it a bit and built a demo that converts scientific papers into childish comics. And I think we should kind of just try it now. The idea is that you can take any scientific paper from this website called PubMed, and I'm just going to search for fever here, not swine fever. And then we'll take, I don't know, fever and update. Okay, I only tried it with this one. An update, okay. Weird. And then you take this, and then you go, oh, oops, sorry. Spoiling, sorry about that. Okay, so then you paste in the URL, and then you can click here, doodle it, and then it will try to scrape that article and feed it to the brain, and the brain will try to convert it into comics. This should have sound, by the way. Should have sound. Yes, here we go, sound. Now it's thinking about it, and a new comic will come up about the update around fever. I don't know what that update is. Let's see. Okay. When sick, my body turns into a little hot oven. Doctors look at the hot magic to make us better. After ouchie surgeries, sometimes my tummy gets super hot. Oops. Feet doctors know lots about my feet get hot. Okay, so I don't know if this was the best article to do it with. Does anyone have like a disease that they want to learn more about? Just shout, and we can do it one more time. Shout. Allergy. Okay. Allergy. Okay, so allergy. Allergy, like this. Okay. Which one? The prevention. Okay, allergy prevention. Okay, let's try. And let's try. Okay. Yes. Allergies are no fun, but we learn how to stop them. Mommy read from big books to know what makes us sick. We said no to smoke, furry pets, and dirty air. Yucky. Fish and yummy for mommy and me keeps us strong. Did you learn anything? Yeah, it's true. Yeah, okay, good. You can actually try it if you want to. It's a bit unstable. It only works with these PubMed articles, and you have to click this button here first, and then click a button here that I already clicked. So it's very unstable, but I hope maybe one day to release it. Yeah. When the fever stops. Okay. This one was also good. Fevers make, yeah, it's a bit the same. No, either way. Okay, that worked. I'm happy about that. So a bit about me. I come from Copenhagen. I make art with computers. I program and work with artificial intelligence. I do talks. I teach workshops, and then I do freelance stuff from time to time. And in my talk, I'll talk about using AI and machine learning for recognizing things, for generating text, a bit about generating music, generating images, and then I'll try to do quite a few live demos like you already saw. And the reason why I put in this emoji that is like a bit anxious is because when you do live demos, they can go wrong. The first one went okay, I think, but sometimes when they go really wrong, that's where they are interesting. So are you with me on that? And also for the live demo, sometimes I would actually like maybe you to participate a bit. So if you want to come up with me on stage, then that would be nice. If you have a friend that you would like to see on stage or an enemy, then think about that. And maybe you can point towards those people, and then hopefully it's not just me all the time. Otherwise, you shout something and we make it work. Okay. I'll begin with recognition, and I'll do that kind of briefly. So me and my friend Lasse, we started a creative coding agency a long time ago. It doesn't exist anymore, but our first client was actually Google Creative Lab, and we helped them build a tool all the way back in 2017, which I think was also the first year that I went to KIKK, also with Lasse. We did a kids installation, and we made this tool called Teachable Machine. I'm not going to demo it. I'm just going to show a video where Baron Webster, who was also involved on the project from Google side, posted this little thing where he used Teachable Machine to recreate a scene from Silicon Valley where they make a classifier that can classify whether something is a hot dog or not a hot dog. And the idea is that you have the input, which is the webcam feed, then you can give it examples, supervised learning, you train the system to recognize different categories that you decide, and then finally it can do something on the output side, and in this case it will say whether something is a hot dog or not a hot dog. And this has sound as well, so let's have a listen.
Not hot dog. Not hot dog.
And just up with the sound.
Hot dog. Not hot dog. Hot dog. Not hot dog. Not hot dog. Hot dog. Not hot dog. Hot dog. Not hot dog. Hot dog. Not hot dog.
And look how happy he is. And I think one of the reasons why people were happy about this project, or at least some people were, was the fact that you had the agency to sort of control yourself what you wanted the system to recognize. You were sort of in charge. We started from scratch, so you had to give it examples and determine what the classes were and then define the output. And when I started working with machine learning, that was sort of what I did. I taught systems to recognize stuff with my own data sets, and then I built something quirky, fun on top of it. One example is actually a year earlier. This is from 2016 in collaboration with American artist Gene Kogan. We were invited to a hackathon in South Korea by IBM, and they really wanted people to use IBM Watson, and there was a big prize. We didn't use IBM Watson, so we did not win any prizes, but we made this little demo, amongst other things we made, which is called Doodle Tunes. And the idea is that you draw musical instruments on paper, and then as they get recognized, they start playing. I'm just going to show a quick snippet of it. Another example, but this time sort of taking sound not as an output, but as an input, is this little video where I trained a machine to recognize different silly sounds I made, and then I mapped those to actions on my keyboard, allowing me to play the game of Wolfenstein using super silly sounds. And I need to warn you, this video has swastika, because the game of Wolfenstein, you fight the Nazis inside their castle or whatever. Yeah, and this one also has a lot of sound, so sound-controlled Wolfenstein. Yeah, we don't need to see anymore. A backstory is that we actually made this video, me and Lasse, the guy you saw before, and we sent it to Google because when we did Teachable Machine, it was not defined that Teachable Machine could only classify visual stuff. We prototyped a lot of other input types, sound being one, and then we sent this video to try to convince them to add sound as an input so you could play different things, and they rejected it. But then a new version of Teachable Machine appeared 3 years later, which I don't have anything to do with, but then it added sound as an input. So maybe I planted a very stupid seed somewhere. Yes, so this tech is sort of super impressive and stupid at the same time, but I thought, can it also be poetic? Because classifications like this, you can see that here we see a coffee cup, but it's being classified as a toilet. Maybe we don't have those kinds of mistakes in AI anymore, but this kind of mistake is really interesting because you can sort of see where the machine is coming from, and it's not a totally arbitrary guess. This coffee cup has some similarities with a toilet, maybe in the shape, maybe in the way the materials shine. Maybe it has been trained with a lot of very nasty toilets, who knows? So I think that a lot of these mistakes teach us a lot about how machines see the world in a very different light from human beings, and sometimes they are sort of poetic in a way. So I made this project called Poems About Things, and this is also, like I think 2019 or something, that tries to generate poetry from everyday objects that are around us. And the idea is that you can walk around town with your mobile phone, and then there's a very small built-in image classifier that has already been trained with 1,000 categories. So it thinks that my apartment block is a prison, for instance. And then you can take pictures of different stuff, and then it takes that classification, right or wrong, and sends it to Google Suggest that will try to finish a sentence based on it. And you know it from when you try to search for something in a search engine, then it'll try to guess what it is you're searching for before you even clicked enter. And those search suggestions are sometimes quite poetic in a way. They have a nice rhyme. Can bananas kill you? Can they be frozen? Can they cause diabetes? So it's a bit of a poem. Sometimes it's just one sentence that's sort of interesting. This laptop was brought to you by capitalism. Yes. Or organ donation. How does organ donation work? How does organ failure feel? How does organizational structure affect leadership? Just from a photo of an organ. Yeah, I think we'll stop here, and we will go to this one, which is my favorite poem. It's not me, it's a student I had at the Design Academy in Eindhoven, and I gave the students a lot of my different tools and code and tried to ask them to sort of deconstruct it. And this student, and I have his permission to use the picture, he sort of pointed the camera towards himself, because he identified that the project name was Poems About Things, and this the ImageNet model, or sorry, MobileNet model that was running on it that could classify certain things. There's a lot of things it couldn't classify. So as soon as he turned the camera towards himself, he started getting really interesting classifications because the model had no class, no data for human beings, which also meant that it had no categories for specific parts of human beings. And in this case, his beautiful upper body is classified as a fur coat, and then Google Suggest tries to create poetry based on it, or that's my interpretation of it at least. With this poem, is my fur coat real? Is it worth anything? Is it made out of mink? Is it even fur? And why is my fur coat shedding? And this is some years ago. Oh, oops. So I'm trying to improve it all the time. So I now call it better poems about things. I don't think the poems are necessarily better. Like sometimes they're actually worse, but the technology is more advanced. So now I call it better. Now we have image classification algorithms that can sort of describe what is in images, and then we also have these large language models that can produce more coherent text. And I thought it would maybe be interesting to generate a poem about you. Are you up for that? Yeah? Should we try? Okay. So let's see. Better poems. This current model is using GPT-4o, and let's try. Oops. Okay. Let's see. Analyzing. Self-portrait with audience. Okay. This is the part where you stand on stage, arms outstretched like an ancient messiah. They're staring not at you, but at they're staring not at you, but at the mismatch of reality and the glitch on your screen. That's interesting. There's like a thing over here. Their faces, pixelated snacks, wary of the magic. Call it a sermon, a slide deck, a badly edited film with too many bloopers. Someone coughs, another checks the time. A portrait within a portrait that looks back and wonders who's really the one put on display. Yeah. And who are you clapping at now? Are you clapping at me? Are you clapping at my code? Are you clapping at GPT-4o? Are you clapping at all the innocent people that never accepted that their data was scraped? I don't know who are we clapping at? I don't know. Okay, let's try. I'm gonna show you one that I did. Nah, I have this one. I don't know if it's sure. Good conference. It was before you came. Conference survival or how to lean into the void. We came for knowledge or maybe the snacks. Blah, 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 blah. PowerPoint slides with blank stare precision. This is the part where we pretend we're learning shepherd-like sheep in a beige lecture hall. You watch contorted, capturing the journey like it's Everest we're climbing, not just Boredom Mountain. But here's the twist. In the labyrinth of seating, the hero's you. You with the tilted lens, seeing the unseeable, the humor of hollow, the conference unraveling, one empty node at a time, filling out our pockets with candy wrappers and half-baked dreams. I don't know. Yeah, no claps for that one. Great. Okay, so, and sometimes these poems, they're not like that great, right? They have the structure of poems. Sometimes they catch interesting details, but I struggle to sort of really generate ones that I appreciate if I read it the second time. So I tried to do something maybe a bit more young, fresh, snappy, and I tried to sort of figure out could AI generate memes instead of poems. And it's exactly the same. The code base is almost the same. So instead of generating these long form poems, then just do like a few words or a sentence in a meme form. This is the first experiment I did with it, and I did it in collaboration with a Danish coder, Frederik Laumborg, who I worked with last year. And this is a year and a half ago that we tried this out. Let's have a look. So some of you're a very smart audience and very, very young. I do a lot of talks in Denmark for elderly people, so and this video is too fast for them. So now I'm stopping. Sorry, but here, like, it's interesting how to, like, here I take a picture because I, as a human being, can sort of sense that there's a comedic potential in this picture, right? The car on top of the building, and then it sort of delivers something that looks like a punchline. But the question is, again, like, are we laughing because this is really a good meme, or are we laughing somehow in awe of the computer being able to play a part in this? I still don't really know. Because a lot of them are honestly not that good. Let's just see a few. Yeah, let's see a few more. Yes, and it got popular, so we had to limit it a bit. So now people can only generate 10 memes per hour for the same IP address. And if you want to try it, you can try it now. But if you're all on the same Wi-Fi, it won't really work because you'll be treated as one user. Sometimes if you take pictures of people, then it also refuses to do it. Yeah, so. It kind of works. And then there's also a setting where you can set the context to things like conference center or festival to make more specific memes. And you can maybe, don't do it now, but try it out in the break or something. Memecam.io. And after we made it sort of quite transparent how it was built. And then an interesting thing happened. A lot of clones appeared online. So if you search for Memecam, then we are memecam.io. But now there's apps and Android apps and all other types of websites that are not ours and that have advertising and stuff like that. We only have a donate button, and it doesn't help you generate any more memes. So don't click the donate button if you don't feel like it. Yes. Okay. I tried to take a few before you came. It was okay, I think. Were you guys eating? No, you weren't eating. No. Okay. And then here from my disease, my sickness. It's like it's trying, right? And the question is also like, if you were giving a photo like this, and you had to make something fun out of it, like maybe you could, but it would take you a bit of time. And Memecam tries at least really, really fast. And if I changed a line or two in the code, instead of generating one, I could potentially generate 1,000. And then maybe some of them would be really good. So that's sometimes when you compare sort of stuff that comes out of a computer to stuff that comes out of a machine, and we humans like to do that, then we underestimate the scalability of computers because they might as well generate 1 million at a time if they wanted to. Yes, I'm on a lot of painkillers right now. This was for another talk when I was really sick. Okay. So moving on to text generation. Now, in a way, we are already started text generation, but with images as input. But I want to go back to more sort of clean text generation and back to 2018 when I made a project called Books by AI. And it's a website. It still exists. And if you're tired of books written by human authors, then you can go to Books by AI. And everything is generated, meaning that the content of the books generated, the titles of the books, the author names are generated, the descriptions on the back side of the books, and also the book covers are also generated. And you can buy them and get them shipped back to you as paperbacks. And this is way before Midjourney for generating nice images or GPT or large language models for generating text. So I trained it myself. With training data from Amazon.com and Project Gutenberg for the text, and then used something called progressive growing of GANs, trained with existing images of other book covers from something called Open Library. And it didn't end up that well, honestly. The texts were pretty bizarre, and the covers were also quite bizarre, but I wanted to sell these books. How do you sell something mediocre online? You need social proof. That was hard to get, so I had to generate that myself. So I generated this bunch of people using something called transparent latent GAN, and then I trained a new text algorithm on positive reviews of other people's book purchases. And then all of a sudden I have this army of people, more or less credible, that really liked my books. I want to show one one review that I really like, and it's it's the top one here by editor Locker that says, "I really enjoyed this book. It's knudung." And knudung is an interesting word, an interesting mistake, and you wouldn't see a word like knudung come out of something like Claude or ChatGPT or Google Gemini unless you really like asked it to make up its own words. But back then, we trained it ourselves. I did it in collaboration with a Danish data scientist, Mikkel Tybolose. And we did not train this particular review algorithm that well. And when you don't train something that well, it is closer to where it started. And char-RNN means that char is character, so it learns character by character, and then it tries to sort of, at first, totally random characters, and then it compares what it spits out to the data set, and then it thinks, okay, I need to maybe combine some of these characters into words, maybe I need to have spaces in between words, maybe sometimes it should have capital letters after a period, and stuff like that. And then it ends up sort of replicating or mimicking the structure of the English language if it's trained in English. But if you don't train it well enough, a lot of the mistakes from that initial process of randomness is still there, and that's why knudung is still there. And I really like that. I think knudung is a very nice word to describe this book. It's a very historically precise description of the book, because knudung would not come out of a large language model. It comes out of a char-RNN. And knudung, I think this book is not a good book. It's also not a bad book. It's a knudung book. And now you can buy these books on Amazon. I'm too lazy to sort of ship them myself, so Amazon does that on demand. But that's also, I find it interesting because a lot of the training data comes from Amazon. So it's this snake that bites itself in the tail, and both Amazon and me profit from it. I sold, I think, between 200 and 300 books so far, which is surprising because they're horrible. Like each sentence is fine on its own. And now real people are sort of buying them and reviewing them, and typically giving 5 stars because they think it's an interesting concept, or 1 star because it's a very bad reading experience. Yeah. So books by AI, the books are not that good, but the reviews the fake ones are really good. Okay. Who here has their own Wikipedia page? You have one? In real life? Okay. Would you like a Wikipedia page? You already did it. Okay. So this is my exhibition that's also out at the gallery. Does anyone want to try to have a? Someone is pointing. Yeah. Would you like to have a Wikipedia page? He has one. Okay. Then you cannot have one. Someone who doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Would you like to? Yeah. Come on. Come up. Give a hand. Okay. Yeah, you can either jump or you can go over there, I think. Oh, great. What's your name?
Luca.
Luca, hi. Nice to meet you. Okay. So it's relatively simple.
Okay.
You need to enter your name,
Okay.
and then something you would like to be famous for. And then finally, we take a picture of you. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
So, and first and last name, if you are okay with that. Yeah, and then before putting it in, can we just have a quick discussion about it? What would you like to be famous for? It can be something very silly. It can be a childhood dream. It could be something you're aspiring to right now.
No, just be famous for the worst joke ever.
Okay, fair enough. Then let's put in, and this is a Danish keyboard, so maybe I write it. Making the worst joke ever. Yeah. Okay, the worst joke ever. Okay, perfect. Then we need a picture of you, and you're very brave because I didn't really tell you how this works. I use a very bad aged classifier that tries to estimate things about you based on your face. Okay. It's horribly outdated, and it misclassifies a lot of people. It'll try to estimate your age and your gender and your mood, and it's often wrong.
I'll probably be a girl for the long game.
And maybe. Let's have a look. Come close to the camera. Okay, and then we will try. Okay, so where are you from?
Italy.
Italy, okay. So now it says that you are male, you're estimated to 27 years old, and you look neutral. And and then now we have this, okay. And you're born in Rome, and you're a renowned figure in the realm of comedy, and you have created what is widely recognized as the worst joke ever made, which got you really famous. So your mom and dad, Maria and Giovanni, yeah? No, okay. And you did high school, and then you got a degree in Rome.
Something is funny because the high school has a name similar of my of the city I came from.
Okay.
So that's strange.
Yeah. Okay, and then the joke. Okay. Oh, this can. Are we recording this? This could go really wrong, but I don't know what the joke is. Oh, it's a pandemic. Oh no. Okay. So you were participating in Comedians 2.0 and a challenge, and you delivered a punchline that instead, like it intended to elect laughter, it fell completely flat. The joke went as follows: why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field.
Perfect.
So it did not lead to applause, but to widespread ridicule. And despite this initial awkwardness, it went viral, and memes were created, and the hashtag worst joke ever became trending. And then you became famous, and you got into Rome Comedy Festival and Italian TV shows. And then one night you were at an open mic in London, and Ricky Gervais was there. And then, you got famous. And you made a book, The Punchline of a Life, A Guide to Awkward Humor. Okay, thank you so much, Luca.
Thank you very much.
And take care when you go down. Okay, so you can try it at the gallery if you want to. And this was a public URL, but I'm actually going to close that one down because, it's only for the festival. Okay, so I don't have that much time left, but I think that's okay. I'm going to quickly talk about music from images, and I, in collaboration with Oscar, who's actually here, raise your hand, Oscar. Give a hand to Oscar. In April, Oscar came to Copenhagen from France, and he helped me with some projects, and he actually made this little prototype, which we'll see now, which is the idea of trying to generate music from images, and more specifically, music that helps you remember stuff. So there was a lot of things in school that I wasn't that good at memorizing, but I'm extremely good at memorizing pop lyrics from the 90s. Like I can, even though I didn't like Destiny's Child, I know all their lyrics somehow. So we thought maybe it was fun to sort of see if you could take something quite scientific, quite hard, something you need to really repeat to understand, and then when you're in school, and then make it into a song instead that you can just listen to. So you listen to your homework. And let's have a look at it. It has sound once we get 5 or 10 seconds into the video. Yeah, so it's an app mock-up, but all the AI parts are actually real and functioning. So it analyzes a page here on resistance in physics and generates a full song.
Unstoppable, a tool so cool, it's always by our side. With V for volts and I for flow are the resistance why. V equals I times R, it's how we verify. R is V over I when resistance we apply. For current, I equals V over R, these rules we can't deny. V equals I times R, it's how we verify.
Yeah, Yeah, it just continues forever. Yeah. But Oscar, I think we're too late, right? Because now Suno actually made this like a week ago. Suno scenes where they have that on their service. So I think we're too late. We're not going to be rich with this idea. Maybe it was a bad idea. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. But now you can do it inside Suno actually. Yes. Okay. A bit towards the end about AI-generated images. I've been interested in that field as well since 2017. This was my first attempt using something called DCGAN. I grabbed a lot of images of eyes online and trained this model for, I think, almost a month on a very powerful computer, and it ended up with these 128 by 128 generated eyes that I was really interested in. This is a long time ago. Now, of course, you can generate more hi-fi images, and you can prompt, so you can describe in text what it is you'd like to see. But I don't know, are some of you a bit tired of AI-generated images? Raise your hand. Yeah? Are some of you a bit sick of them? Yeah? I'm also a bit sick of them. So I made this demo where if I pretend like I'm throwing up, then I'm throwing up Mid-Journey images. And these were generated beforehand, but pretty soon you would be able to like throw up images that don't exist in real time. I think it's like maybe towards the end of this year with a powerful enough computer. And it's something to think about. Like, I don't hate AI-generated images, but something to think about. Like, if people just throw them up all over the internet, what will happen, and how will we maybe appreciate images in a different way? I have made some stuff with AI images. This is a thing from early last year, Danish Museum of Art. They had an exhibition with Carl Bloch, who's an old painter. And when you have exhibitions in museums, then you have one picture hanging over there, one picture hanging over there. But then the interesting part is maybe the wall. And the empty wall, could you have generate an image that would make those two images sort of be combined? That's what I tried to do. Here is a little visual of it using in-painting and other techniques. And in this case, we have the infinite leech that sort of combines these two. And then we generated a very, very long image, which is 70% real Carl Bloch and 30% AI-generated fill. And in the beginning, try to make it as sort of neutral as possible, as seamless as possible, but the museum was kind of keen on small quirky details so the viewer could spot the differences. A raw fish, for instance. I'm also interested in using these techniques in other ways and using them with kids and maybe trying to bring them a bit back into the physical world. So I have this free tool that I built in collaboration with Danish libraries and the Center for Future Studies in Denmark. And it's called the Future Mirror. And the idea is that kids can build something in raw materials and then prompt what it is they envision, the thing that they built. And then using T2I adapters or ControlNet, you can sort of take the input, try to estimate a depth map, and then prompt and generate different types of images that still respect the original composition of what you made. And that's really fun to do with kids because then they have ideas, they build something, and then they bring that sort of to life in a different way, and they have a bit of ownership over it, whereas I feel that kids don't have that much ownership if they get something out of an AI image generator just from text. Yes, okay. The final thing I want to show is this thing. I just want to ask how many of you have seen me before? So like a few, 20. Isn't that a shame? Sometimes I wish there was more of me online, and sometimes when I browse the internet, I'm a bit sort of sad that it's not just like more about me. It's not that much about me. I would like it to be more. So I am in the process of generating a plugin for the browser. And maybe some of you know plugins that get rid of advertisement. It's something that manipulates the HTML on websites, so they try to identify what is an advertisement, and then they get rid of it. I do a similar thing, but I try to identify images, and then if the images contain faces, I swap those faces with myself. And then if the text contains first names, then they also get swapped with Andreas. And it's a bit unstable, but here I'm showing it on a Danish website where I become the editor of a new thing. I have a novel coming out. I'm an actor. I actually become king. I win 2 Golden Globes. And all of this happens actually with just one image of me that is face swapped, and each face swap takes less than a second. So it's extremely easy and inexpensive to make. Okay, now I have 10 seconds left, so here are some links. If you want to try different things, you can also always just reach out to me. And yeah, I think that's my talk. Thanks so much for having me and being good sports. And thanks to Luca.